morning, everybody, and welcome back to Seeds and Soil. This is Libby, and today we're going to talk about what we're going to plant this fall. Got a lot of things that are starting to die off. The tomatoes are about done. Cucumbers are about done. Tomatillos are about done. So I have to think about what's going to go in next. And this will be my first fall crop that I've ever planted. I did plant some stuff in the spring that is kind of the same stuff that I'm going to be planting this fall. So the things that I've already planted, that I planted last weekend, I planted some oregano. And these take, it doesn't say how long it takes to harvest, but it takes 8 to 10 days to germinate. And these things, I've read, I don't know, because I'm new at gardening, but from what I understand, that they don't like the heat a whole lot. So I planted some hoping it starts cooling off. The heat that we have right now, I'm hoping will help germinate it, and then it's going to cool off so it can withstand that kind of temperature. And I planted some cabbage. This is the Golden Acre cabbage. I planted this spring, and I grew some, but I started it inside and it got real leggy, and I tried to transplant it outside and it just never did do anything. So this time I direct seeded it into a raised bed, and it's growing. It's already germinated, and this says it takes 60 to 65 days. Well, it stays kind of warm here where I'm at in eastern North Carolina. It stays warm here until end of October. It starts cooling off, and then like the first week or two of November is when we are estimated to get our first frost. But still, I've known it to be in the 70s and 80s in December. I've been here for 50 years, so I mean, in North Carolina the weather is crazy. You never know what to expect. So I've got some of those planted in a raised bed, and they're coming up. Now, these red burgundy onions, I planted them, I started them about a month ago. They're on my back porch, and this seed packet, there was a lot in there. And I may have 10 plants that come up. And they got about this tall, about as tall as this packet is, for reference. And I snipped off the top of them like they say you're supposed to do. And they're still up there. They're not getting much bigger, but we'll see. I grew onions in the spring, and it was okay. It wasn't the best. Okay, now for what I'm going to plant this weekend. I've got to get the tomatoes up, but I still have tomatoes on the plant, but they're not turning red, they're green, and there's blight on the plants. So some I may take out, some I may leave. I don't know. I'll make that decision when I'm actually dealing with them, I guess. Okay, the next thing we're going to try is turnips. These take 50 to 60 days to harvest, and I'm going to direct sow everything because I had a hard time with everything except for tomatoes and peppers when I started them myself in the spring. So I'm going to direct sow everything that I can. Turnips, we're going to plant some of those. Now, I don't like turnips. My husband does, so that'll be his thing. Along with these collards. My whole family loves collards. Me, not so much. I'm not big on the greens. And these take 75 days, but these like to be cold. So, according to my husband, they're not really good until they get their first frost. So you may want to think about when you're planting and when you want to harvest in order to get at least one frost on them for the taste. Okay, carrots. I had such a hard time with carrots in the spring. I did get carrots. I got lots of carrots. I planted carrots 3 times. It took me the 3rd time to figure it out. All of them come up, but I don't know if I did something wrong. I put the board on top of them when I seeded them, but with packs like this that are just seeds, I had probably 1,000 plants in a small little raised bed. So the first ones I planted didn't come up as soon as I thought they were going to. The second ones I planted, they come up, but then they died back down, so I thought they were dead. And then I planted a 3rd pack, and wouldn't you know it, all of them decided to come up at the same time. So I had to go in and seriously thin them out. I was thinning them out on a daily basis for about 3 weeks. And then finally I just said, I'm just going to go in and just weed the crap out of them. And, or not weed them, but thin them. And so that's what I did, and I got some carrots. And they were pretty. So I'm going to do some more of those. But I'm going to take my time when I plant these and try to get them extra thin, because you can spend a lot of time thinning out carrots. And these take 60 to 80 days. Now I wanted to get some that were pelleted to plant, but I already have this pack, so I'm just going to plant these this fall, and then in the spring I'll get some that's pelleted so they're easier to spread out. And this here is something else that my husband likes that I do not, rutabagas. And these take 75 to 90 days. So these would, they need to go in the ground today for sure. And hopefully they have enough time to mature. But we planted some turnips in the spring, and we planted them amongst our butternut squash, and we only had 2 that come up, and I don't know what happened to them, but they just didn't make it. I think the squash took their sunshine away or something. But yeah, that's what I'm planting this fall. Going to try and get it all in the ground, what I haven't got planted, either today or tomorrow. But we're expecting, or we're in the potential forecast zone of a tropical storm that's supposed to come in the middle of next week. So we have to get the yard cleaned up, everything put away and tied down and all that stuff, just in case. I mean, I don't think we're going to get anything major, but just on the safe side, make sure everything's tied down and stored away. And so yeah, it's supposed to be not as hot as it has been, because it's been so hot, it's been unbearable out here. So yeah, I'm going to get that done today and tomorrow. And that's about it. So I just thought I would share with y'all what I was going to plant in case y'all were interested and wanted to follow along. I'm sure that there'll be other things, like I want to try garlic, and I've got some garlic seed, or not seeds, but heads that are in the house that I got from the hardware store, but they're awful dry. I think they were from last year because he gave me a discount on them. So I'm going to plant those. I may go to the grocery store and get some because I think most places are about sold out now online, and I really don't use a lot of garlic except for in like spaghetti sauce and stuff like that. So I may just buy one from the grocery store and try it before I buy, you know, a whole bunch. I'll probably end up getting some more onions sets because I don't like the way the seeds are going. Sets worked real good for me last year, so when my hardware store gets those in, y'all see that deep, then I will probably get some of those. And when it gets cooler, like probably in October, I plan on planting some lettuce and some radishes and maybe some peas, because my peas and beans did nothing. I'm very disappointed in them, and as you can see behind me, they look lovely and they're just not doing anything. So I know the soil is good because they're thick, green, luscious, and they have flowers on them, just no beans. So, but I'm gonna quit rambling and I may show y'all a few things. So hold on. Okay, so this is where I was sitting at. There's my peas. It's my corn and beans. Hopefully these beans will do a lot better. My cantaloupe has got some flowers on it. Hopefully it'll do something. This is my cabbage I planted the other day. See, I got some coming up. Just a few. My watermelons. Y'all can see them, right? I come in and I trim back these vines. I cut back. Let me see if I can get where you can see. Like right there. This is where the watermelon is. And I come up, left one leaf and a trindle, whatever it's called. And I cut the vine off the rest of the way so everything will go to the watermelon. And we have watermelons, y'all. This is only 3 plants, and we've got excuse me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7. So 2 per plant, I think is okay. More beans. See, these here are starting to have beans on them, but they did that before and they all fell off. So I don't know. Peppers. Yeah, I got peppers. There's some big peppers down there. I'll show you when I go to the other side. These are starting. All these are cayenne peppers. Look at those peppers. And they're big ones too. Big peppers. They're longer than my hand. These lima beans, they're starting to produce a few. So hopefully we'll get some out of that. My poblano pepper right there. And it's still producing more. I've only gotten one poblano so far. More cayennes. Cayennes love the heat. And see my tomatoes. I finally pruned this one. I pruned all the other ones and I got too hot and I had to go inside, so I finally got this one pruned. And look at all the flowers on it. This one I may leave. And that one, because it's got more flowers coming on it too. And my pepper plant, look y'all, it's all entangled in my tomato plant. But it is tall, and I hadn't even noticed. Look at there, look. Can you see it? You see that worm on my, it is eating my jalapeno. Oh my goodness. Yeah, see all these tomato plants, I've thinned them out and thinned them out. My bell pepper, this, it's all wadded up at the top. That's where everything's growing at on this plant, and I don't understand it. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that. My Romas, they have nothing on them. They do have some more flowers, but see, I'm confused about these tomato plants. My cherry tomato, whew, still going. Tomatillos, I trimmed them all back, if y'all remember, and they're not producing as many flowers as they were. I think it's just the end of their season, or starting to be. But there is some on here. And I did notice that after I trimmed them back, the tomatillos are actually a little bit bigger than the ones I were getting. Because you can see them brown ones down there. Those are about the size of the ones I was getting. But these here are much bigger. So, there's that. And my habanero peppers. Let me come around here so you can see them. Can you see? I don't know if you can see them. There they are. See them? I'm getting quite a bit of those. Finally. And my butternut squash, I trimmed a whole bunch of this out too. I think I had some squash bugs or something in here. Oh yeah, see, that just broke. You see how that is? I think that's the squash vine borer thing. But it's still trying to produce more. I'll get that one and try it. Okay, my mushroom reds. Still flowering. There's one right there. This is another butternut squash. My cucumbers are about cuked out. There's still all those down there, but they haven't gotten any bigger in the past couple days. So I may go ahead and just rip this out too. And that's about it, y'all. So I want to thank y'all for stopping by and sharing this time with me. It feels so good out here this morning. It's not hot, it's not humid, the wind's blowing. Perfect day to get out here and do something. So with that, I'm gonna call that it, and I will see y'all next time, and thanks for being here.